Welcome, everybody, to Ears Up in Depth, the only show that you need that talks about the most important stories around Disney Land, Disney World, the Disney Company, and points beyond. I don't know. I'm your host, Jason, and with me, as always, Jeremy.
That's right. Episode 27.
We're doing it, man. We're here.
Soldiering on.
That's right. That's right. Gone are the slim pickings, of the closed Disney resorts. Now we have fascinating news to talk about, and I'm happy about that.
You know, I was looking through because I wanted to kind of fact check something I brought up in my story tonight. So I was looking through an old write-up that I had done because I saved them like a lunatic, and I went through and I was like, God, the news was so much cool. Like, I don't know. I feel like I was like, oh, those were good stories when we talked about them. Like, the guy with the gun and the parking lot.
Give me that.
I don't know. It was just when the parks were really full steam, there was a lot to talk. I mean, everybody was out. The crazies were out.
Oh, for sure. It is funny because these Disney fan news sites, they sort of like are stretching what they call news now, and it's like, wow. First of all, how does this wind up in my Google News feed? This is just literal trash. And I can't think of anything right now. But
if Mouse Gear gets a new bandana in, it's front page news on some of these sites. I mean, you got breaking. There's a new T-shirt at the Emporium.
Yeah, I saw one where it's like flashback to our 5 best foods at Disney World, and it's like, who cares?
Best foods.
Like, not even who cares about what's happening now, but who cares what you liked before the park closed down? Who gives one? Who gives one of those?
Hey, what you used to like? Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, also chances are the things on that list aren't even available anymore. So who cares? But you have to. But that's the problem. That's why I don't do that, because you have to you have to post like an article a day to get up in those rankings and get spun up in those spiders that crawl for your news. And I just don't have the time to do that. I wish I did, because I think those people make a pretty decent amount of money doing news from Google AdWords or Google Ads.
This is a spider-free zone, I can tell you that.
That's right. That's right, baby. All right. Well, I have.
What is this, baby?
I don't know, man.
You've done it like 3 times already.
Have I really? That's annoying. I won't do it again.
Twice on the air, and then like once before, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is a thing.
Yeah, I won't do it anymore.
Is baby the John of 2020?
Maybe,
okay.
Baby.
Well, we'll sit tight and see what happens.
Let's find out, man. As unpredictable as this year has been, I can't divulge, any spoilers.
Yeah.
Speaking of unpredictable, Jeremy, I'm going to go first.
Good.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this beforehand. We didn't plan this out already.
Right.
Yeah. Only like Rob and Thomas know for sure. Okay, the impact COVID has had on the Disney bottom line is obvious. We've worn that egg out on this show several times. With Disney World being open for weeks now and the surrounding areas at least getting some incoming revenue, how is the fair city of Anaheim doing? Well, I'm glad I asked that, Jeremy, because Cal State Fullerton has just released a new study that answers my very question. Disneyland, being where it has an overall impact of about $8.5 billion a year to the local economy.
Jeez, that's a lot.
That is a ton, which is apparently a 50% increase from 2013. Just to show you like how much that machine has just chewed up the local area. Yeah, 50% increase in, what is that, 7 years?
And they don't even have Run Disney anymore.
No, I know. Could you imagine? It'd be 8.6.
What would it be?
8.6. That's also why the city, tends to bend over backwards to accommodate Disney. We've covered those on the news as well. It also highlights just how much money the businesses in the city are missing out on. Orange County's COVID testing is on a downward trend. I should say the positive results are on a downward trend, but it's still almost 3 times higher in some parts of Anaheim than in the rest of the country, which is the main reason that's preventing the Disneyland Resort from opening its parks under California's new 4-tier color-coded system. 3 times higher. the rest of the nation, but it's coming down. It's just not as rapidly as everybody would like. So. Yeah, but it is happening. There are some signs of life in Anaheim, however, as businesses slowly begin to reopen. The JW Marriott in Anaheim recently opened up after pushing their grand opening date back from all the way back in March. So they've been waiting for a grand reopening of this hotel for months, and they finally got it. And everyone's really excited.
Oh, that's the grand opening. That's a new hotel.
Yeah, brand new hotel.
Got it.
So hotels are gaining more confidence with these measures and seem to be preparing for the day that Disneyland announces an opening date. Of course, the money lost won't be recovered for years. I think we'd need a vaccine and even maybe rapid testing, some rumors going around, to happen at the gates to fully see crowds back to peak levels sooner. And I mentioned rapid testing because, we were talking about one of these Disney news sites that sort of just pumps out a news article based on nothing. Right. These people were talking about, like, a former Imagineer says that rapid testing could be the key to reopening, and like they made that a news article. It's insane. So me being me, I looked into rapid testing, and apparently it has its issues as well. The current leader in this department is an antigen assay from Abbott Laboratories in Illinois. It costs about $5 and takes 15 minutes to return a result. Now, I'm not going to take a test, and where are you going to stand while your test comes back for 15, 20 minutes? Like, how would they even do that?
On the Esplanade, you stand there anyway.
I guess, but I mean, you imagine, I don't know, 10,000 people wanting to get in. You know what I mean? I don't know, like those long lines that you see at the beginning of the day, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, that are 100 people deep. I'm just going to stand there, potentially getting breathed on by someone who's contagious.
Yeah, if there's one thing I don't want to do at Disneyland, it's stand in a line.
Now, keep in mind, this is one of the reasons that Disneyland could open or could eventually be mask free. Is people would line up. I didn't mention that. So they would take this test, then you could get into the park and not have to wear a mask. That's like what this one Imagineer thinks that could potentially, maybe, possibly happen.
That's never going to happen. It's
never going to happen.
They make money selling masks.
Well, yeah, but they could sell the test. I don't know. It's never going to happen for a variety of reasons. Yeah. Mainly, the issue with this test is that it will only, so far, tell you if you are highly contagious at the peak of your contagion. It lacks the subtlety of some of the other long-form tests, like they go up your nose. That takes like an hour or something like that to get responses. And a laboratory, it takes a whole thing, right? So it doesn't tell you. There's no subtlety to determine any amount of the infection.
I hate a lack of subtlety.
Me too.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah. Why? Is that why you hate me?
When I picture lack of subtlety, I see a picture of you.
Me, for sure. So the fear here is that these tests can be rolled out to screen folks coming in to, say, a theme park without a mask or a movie theater or whatever, but will miss out on the larger point of this person being still contagious. They're just not highly contagious. So these sort of like really rapid tests aren't there yet. And for people to start writing articles to put their hopes of going maskless in Disneyland or Disney World on these fast tests that don't test for the thing that we really need them to test for, it's just nonsense. There's nonsense floating out around there. So
it's a ways off. They needed something to publish that day.
Yeah. So the long and the short of it is, don't put your hopes in an at-the-door test being part of COVID prevention at the parks anytime soon. It's mask up or get out for the foreseeable future. And I've been saying that I think we're going to see a date announcement for Disneyland opening in another week, maybe 5 days, maybe by the middle of next week. That's my feeling. It's my gut feeling.
But why don't you write an article? See, this is the thing. You are not you're letting all these things just go by in the flow. You're not writing. That should be. You have a whim. You have a thought. Boom.
Boom.
You can turn that into a 5-page essay.
I probably could.
Get those clicks. I'll retweet you.
Thanks, man. That'd be a first. I'm just kidding. I knew that would scratch your record.
Get my goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy. Well, there you go. That's my first story on. Don't worry about rapid testing yet, everybody. Slow down. It's way too soon.
Have you seen the new live-action Mulan?
I have not.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Really?
Actually,
Are
I'm
you
not
really
surprised because you don't have Disney Plus anymore.
No, but no, I don't.
Well, it's causing a bit of a backlash,
Oh.
which I think you might know a little bit about. And I'm not just talking about Disney charging its Disney Plus subscribers an additional fee to watch it.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Right.
30
Though
bucks.
that is the case.
Yeah.
But that's Disney's whole thing. They always charge me money for the privilege of spending more money.
Yeah, but only if you spend money first.
Right. It's like, oh, do you want this shirt? It's like, oh, this is for pass holders only. It's not free. It's the opportunity to buy more.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel so hashtag blessed. Though that is the case, they are charging their subscribers $30, I think $29.99 maybe to watch it. And many subscribers aren't happy about it, but that's not what I'm talking about. The most recent and underwhelming string of live-action remakes of classic Disney animated movies, Mulan, is receiving calls for a boycott and criticism for being filmed, at least in part, in the Xinjiang region of China. This is the same region of China where human rights advocates have criticized China for housing the minority group of Uyghur Muslims in mass internment camps over the last several years. So do you know about this?
Yeah, briefly. I heard a little bit about it. We mentioned it on the main show. Basically, just what you just said. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, criticism of the film actually began back in 2019. As you'll recall, we reported here a year ago, protests had been mounting there for several months over new laws that criminalize certain elements of what previously had been protected free speech in Hong Kong, as well as new extradition laws passed allowing Hong Kong citizens to be sent to mainland China to have their cases tried through mainland criminal justice system, which is separate from that of Hong Kong, which is, to say the least, opaque in the mainland.
Yeah.
Police conduct in Hong Kong had become a focus for the protesters, and it was then that Mulan's film star tweeted out her support for the police in Hong Kong cracking down on the protesters. She also called what was happening in Hong Kong a shame on them. According to an article in the New York Times, praising Hong Kong police makes for good politics in China, where Ms. Liu, the star of the movie, is courting an audience for her new film. China has a history of blacklisting entertainers who have made contentious political statements, including some who have supported Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement. The calls to boycott Mulan were reignited last month as Disney ramped up its promotion for the movie, and Grant Major, the film's production designer, recently told Architectural Digest that the production team spent several months in and around the Xinjiang region doing research before filming. In 2017, Nikki Caro, the director of the film, posted a photo of a vast desert landscape on her Instagram account with the location marked as Urumqi. Urumqi is the capital of Xinjiang. Timing of this post and Grant Major's interview suggests that the cast and crew were likely in the Xinjiang region of China after the Chinese government further expanded its crackdown on ethnic minorities in 2017. The backlash against the movie further intensified following its release when viewers noticed in the credits Disney's thanking 6 government entities in Xinjiang. So just keeps one right after the other.
Good gravy, man.
Human rights advocates and legal scholars have called the crackdown in Xinjiang the worst collective human rights abuse in China in decades, which is saying something for the one child only Tiananmen Square country.
Right.
This is not the first time Disney has collided with politics in China. In 1997, Disney produced the Martin Scorsese film Kundun, which took a critical look at the Chinese government's treatment and oppression of the Dalai Lama. Initially, the company rejected Chinese objections to the movie. However, following a move by China to ban all Disney films there, the company lobbied to retain its access to China's large customer base of moviegoers, and ultimately the then CEO of Disney, Michael Eisner, apologized for even making the film, calling it a stupid mistake and a, quote, form of insult to our friends. So much for the Dalai Lama.
Wow.
And as for the movie itself, a friend of mine described it like, quote, imagine watching Titanic, but removing Kathy Bates and the wonderful score and the third-class party below deck. Still the same story, The boat still sinks, but just a charmless drama.
That's the new Mulan.
That's the new Mulan. So
I've heard that.
you know,
I've heard that about it, where it's sort of like blah. It's compared to the new Star Wars movies, where there's not a whole lot of character development.
yeah, so it's getting a lot of it's underwhelming critical response, and certainly has caused some hashtags calling for a boycott. I don't know if the boycott had anything to do, because it has had a lackluster opening in China where movie theaters are open, but who knows what that's about.
Right. I'm sure even the Chinese are like
causing that.
Yeah, they're like, God, who cares? We get it. Mulan.
Yeah. So Mulan.
Move on, more like it. You know what I mean?
Move on.
Well, Jeremy, I too have some Disney production woes to talk about.
Yeah, dovetail.
Let's do that, please. It seems Disney is experiencing a few hiccups with regards to some big-name productions. First, the issues surrounding Mulan and the seemingly supportive messages directed at the Chinese government, as my most excellent colleague already mentioned. And now, rumors swirling around two of Disney's biggest bets, the Black Panther sequel and the Mandalorian series on Disney+. The passing of Chadwick Boseman, who of course played the Black Panther in the blockbuster MCU films, threw everyone for a loop, including, apparently, Chadwick himself, who was reportedly looking forward to getting back into the gym to start training for Black Panther 2 as early as March. He was really looking, he was planning on it. Like, he thought he had the thing beat, the colon cancer beat. He was just staying positive through the whole process.
This is what's so terrifying about that, because, this seemingly took him by surprise, even though he had been fighting it for some time. It seems like he was, I guess maybe you just still make I don't know. I've never, thankfully, been in those shoes, but maybe you have to continue to look forward. But it sounds like he was like, oh, no, I'm going to... I can't even go to the gym and I'm healthy. Like, forget about...
Well, apparently when he was doing Black Panther, I think on that set, he thought that he had beaten it.
Okay.
And then it came back. But the hard part is he was very private about it. So he didn't really tell anybody. So nobody really knows for sure. But I don't really have experience like that. My experience was, this is how you fix it with surgery. Okay, and you take it out and then it's done. So there's no really time to process. It's like a month between diagnosis and surgery. You're like, okay, it's out, I guess, or whatever. So there's no time to figure out what ifs or whatever. You just kind of go along with the flow, and you're sort of in this I don't know, floating mindscape of like, I'm just going to pretend everything's normal because they say it's going to be fine. But with something like that's very aggressive. I think you do have to maintain some sort of positivity. And he was still going to like children's hospitals, even like a month or two before he passed, and providing a comfort for the kids. And he was still very, very outgoing. So not outgoing, I should say, but very giving of his time and his energy to his craft and to helping other people, which is sort of makes the whole thing even a little worse. You know what I mean? To lose an actor is like, okay, well, whatever. You were an actor in a movie that I liked, whatever. But you made a positive impact on people outside of the set, and that's, I think, more important.
Sure. It sounds like he was a good human being.
Yeah. So he was ready to get back to training for Black Panther 2, as well, apparently, as having already landed another film role to begin shooting later on this year. So he was really thinking positively about that. And for a fact, I would not. I don't know that I could. For 4 years of struggling with colon cancer, still acting, still doing movies, like he completed 2 movies before. I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. But anyway, according to internet rumors that seem to come from a reliable source, whatever that means anymore, T'Challa will be written out of Black Panther 2, who has apparently having died off screen.
Was that his character's name?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Black Panther's name is T'Challa.
Okay.
I think I'm saying that right, and if not, well, I'm sure I'll hear about it. And his sister Shuri will take his place, becoming the next Black Panther.
Oh.
And apparently this is what happens in the comics, or at least in one of the timelines. The hard part about like trying to be a comic book fan is you have all these like fractured timelines of stuff, right? Like you have a whole story of Batman in like samurai days as like a samurai, and you have Batman in the future, and you have Spider-Man, and you have all these different timelines of the story. They're being explored in various ways. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that this character has like 5 other places that they could have taken the narrative, right? But they picked the one that apparently has his sister taking his place.
I had no idea that's a thing, that these comic books aren't just linear.
Yeah, I know. And it me being me, it sort of annoys me that they're not. It's like, just let the story die. You know what I mean? Like I'm like an X-Men guy, like a Wolverine guy. Just let the story die. I like that. The story just kind of like died. Do we have to pass the mantle? Do we need a different story here or there or whatever? Like the original Batman with Michael Keaton, the best Batman, fought the Joker. That wasn't necessarily per the comics, but his origin story was, his parents got robbed in an alleyway by the man who would become the Joker. And then now you have the Christopher Nolan, John. It's a whole mess. It's a big mess over there. I don't like it. Give me my story. This is what I like. This is what I like. Anyway.
It is a mess over there.
It is a mess, man. Anyway, so you can't really recast a male Black Panther, call him T'Challa, and just pretend like nothing happened. And I don't think you can CGI him back into a role like they did with poor Carrie Fisher in Star Wars either. Why
can't they recast it?
Because I don't know. Maybe my next sentence explains that. You have to pay respects to the man and the character that brought so much joy to so many kids. I don't think you can recast with the same name. I don't think you can say, here's now T'Challa, here's another black man playing Black Panther, who sort of looks the same but is very, very different. It's going to be too obvious, and I don't think
see Bewitched? We got a new Darren.
But and he was terrible. Right? He was always compared to the other Darren.
Yeah. And did you ever see Roseanne? We had a new Becky. Then old Becky came back.
And do you think those were good choices?
Sure.
You do?
I think it was great.
Okay. Well,
because they poked fun at it. Like the first episode, the old Becky came back.
Yeah.
Every time she walked into a scene, everybody goes, "Where have you been?" Like it was in this, like they were like, "What's going?" Oh, it was great. I love how they handled it.
Can you imagine?
I could go on about Roseanne all day.
Can you imagine if they did that with Black Panther?
Where have you been?
Who are you? Like, I am T'Challa. I don't know. I don't think they should do it. I mean, they could, but I don't think they could. If you know what I mean, it would be disrespectful. It would be disrespectful.
Has there been any other major recastings? I mean, soap operas do it all the time.
Sure, but those are soap operas, right? This is a Marvel Cinematic Universe cornerstone now. You know, Black Panther lit the flames of a generation. You can't recast. You can't do that. You have to pass the mantle, in my opinion.
Are you telling me that T'Challa is more of an important character that in terms of the moving image than Phyllis from The Young and the Restless? Is that what you're trying to fix me up?
Well, okay, maybe you got me over a barrel there. All right.
Fine, sorry, I'll let it go. But, you know.
And apparently replacing MCU characters is sort of the way forward for Marvel. Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, the bow and arrow guy, even the Hulk are all getting recast as their main characters get killed off and mantles passed. So I'm okay with this move. As much as I really didn't like Shuri's character, I found her annoying most of the time, but I'm hoping that was more of an artistic choice to play an irritating little sister, and that she will do the role of Black Panther justice, if that rumor is to be believed. Now, over in the Mandalorian territory, you know, I have no love for that series, but I'm in the minority, apparently. The trailer for Season 2 dropped last week, and it actually looks pretty good. I think we're going back to Tatooine. The settings sort of look better. There's like a bigger, more modern like shipping city that, you know, could be potentially pretty cool. And we're a bit more invested in the characters than in Season 1, so this round might actually be worth watching finally. However, the actor who plays the Mandalorian has reportedly left the set during the filming of Season 2 over issues with how much screen time he was getting. Pedro Pascal plays Mando, and fans of the show know that part of the Mandalorian religion is that you never take your helmet off in front of anyone. If you do, you can never put it back on. Like most things in religion, this makes little to no sense, but hey, this is the way. Apparently, midway through season 2, the storyline shifts away from Mando as we know him, and as a result of Pascal's temper tantrum. He really wanted scenes without his helmet on, because there was one scene in season 1 where he took his helmet off in front of a droid who's not considered a person, so that was fine. It didn't violate his religious order, right? But he was clashing with the creative team on set, like Jon Favreau and someone else, I forget his name, and was like, I want more screen time. I want to take my helmet off. I want to like people to see me, you know?
So this actor,
Yeah.
you don't see his face. He can't emote, basically,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So it could be anyone in there.
And in fact, sometimes it was.
Oh, I can relate to this because when I was in marching band in college, it was a big no-no to ever be in partial uniform.
Okay.
You had to be all the way or none, but you couldn't just take your gloves off, take your hat off. You had to be in, you couldn't be so I really understand what he's going through.
I bet you know what? Those things are very similar. When you first said marching band, I thought there's no way these will line up. And in fact, I was incorrect. It's exactly the same.
Don't bet against me.
I would never do that. He really wanted scenes without his helmet on, and the creative team on the show really dug in their heels against that, wanting to preserve the Mandalorian lore. Apparently, he even tried going above the heads of his creative team and went up the ladder to Lucasfilm to try and get them to intervene on his behalf, which is never a good look.
What do you just call like 1-800-Lucasfilm? Like, hi,
apparently, it's Pedro.
Me.
Yeah. Once the team on the set heard this, apparently, this is rumor, they asked him to leave, and he did. So halfway through season 2, this is what was happening, and they said, you know what, you should just leave, and he did. He left. Now,
well, of course, they can get Hank to do this job from over, pouring the coffee.
That's right, get a grip.
We cast you because you aren't that good of an actor that we can just have you do this whole role in a mask. Like, if you were really relying on your ability to cry on cue or laugh or play drunk, it would have gone to someone else, Pedro. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and and I understand about acting where they're acting in a costume, in a suit, where there still is subtlety, where you still move a certain way and you give a reason for it. And there's reason for every action, and so there's that you're restrained even more so, and you're sort of restrained in your character, but you're sort of have to overreact to certain things. You need a reason for every action, for every movement has to have a reason for it, and even more so in a costume, right? But when he signed the contract, he knew what was going on. He understood that you can't take your helmet off, and so now such a big success, I think he wants to reap some of the benefits of that.
He got a little big for his britches, it sounds like.
Yeah. So you might think that having the main actor leave would just kill the production, kill scenes and whatever, but apparently Pascal wasn't the only one putting the man in Mando. See what I did there? That was really good.
Mando and lore. You've done this twice now in that word.
Hey man, that's what I do.
If the new actor is played by someone named Ian.
I would love that. Brendan Wayne, grandson of Western star John Wayne, and Lateef Crowder, who is the grandson of someone, I would imagine, have both taken turns as the Mandalorian. Since Pascal's vocals are recorded in a studio after filming takes place, it sort of doesn't really matter who is actually in the suit.
Right.
So some interesting stuff happening on set, which, remembering the considerable trouble those recent movie productions had, like all the the last 3 Star Wars movies had tons of directors leaving, everything's all in a hizzy over there. This is sort of on par with just about anything from the Star Wars universe, if it's true. So now he's sort of
in a hizzy.
He's sort of tagged as difficult to work with, because he wanted some scenes with his helmet on, man, and which I don't I get it. The whole time through season 1, I was like, I would be thoroughly annoyed right now if I was that actor, because you do want that street cred. You want people to know who you are, and not just your name, but also to go over the heads of production, you're not. Yeah, you're difficult to work with, brother. Sorry. Try renegotiating in season 3.
Well, also, I feel like you have to play the role that you got, like you can't get a role for an extra in a commercial and expect that you're going to be washing your hair in the shower in the main scene. Like, you've got to work your way up. You want street cred, do this job and do this job to the best of your ability. And then when the next role comes, maybe you'll get to take the mask off.
Right.
And you can actually move and talk on screen.
I know.
Like
can you imagine
real actor
Jake from State Farm? So, sir, director, I was told I was thinking about shaving my head during this scene. Is that okay? No, your job is to sell auto insurance to this football man. I think I want to shave my hair while I'm doing it. You don't do that. You play the role you're given.
We're looking for.
Yeah. So anyway, that's some fascinating stuff going on behind the scenes for both of these new I don't want to say they're blockbusters, I guess, because I would assume that both of them are going to be released in a movie theater. But Mandalorian Season 2 does actually look pretty good. I will still give it a shot, although, like I've mentioned before, I've tried to rewatch Season 1 in case I missed anything, and I couldn't finish it. I was so thoroughly bored. So I think Season 2 will be a little bit more interesting.
So it's someone's grandson?
Yeah, Brendan Wayne is the grandson of John Wayne.
Oh.
And I thought about going on a whole tirade about like who John Wayne really was in real life, but I decided not to.
Well, I think John Wayne was in a movie. I believe he was in the movie called The Searchers.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
Which was one of the movies that was featured in the Great Movie Ride at Disney's MGM Studios.
Wow, bringing it all around.
Yeah, I tried watching it. It was on Turner Classic Movies a couple weeks ago, and I tried watching it. It was absolutely unwatchable.
All those movies are total dog crap. They're just
it's one of those that has gained notoriety as being one of the best westerns. Not The Hotel.
Yeah, sure.
But like, I guess westerns suck. So like, to be the best of all the sucky. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, there's very few westerns that I like, and most of them have Clint Eastwood in them. Like, there's not that western genre is sort of dumb, and especially back in like, I mean, The Searchers was from 1956. So especially talking like 40s through the 60s, those kind of like, here's the Italian men to play the Indians. Like, those are just inherently going to be terrible movies. And I don't know why people still really like them, but I don't know. There's like that nostalgia. My dad used to love watching Westerns, man. Roy Rogers, big Roy Rogers guy. And I couldn't get through 5 minutes before I was pulling my hair out. I'm like, I gotta go. I can't sit here and watch this goose egg sitting on a horse. I don't know, man. It's strumming his guitar. Get over it. This is 1992, Dad. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go skateboard. Whatever. Anyway, that's my
I don't think I've ever been on a skateboard.
We should do it. I don't have one. I'll buy one. Next time you come out, I'll buy one and I'll put you on it.
I'm not. You'll put me. Here you go.
Yeah.
Set me down.
Yeah.
I'll sit on it, but that's as far as it's going. No. Yeah, I don't have any balance. I can barely walk.
Yeah, that's why I stopped skateboarding. That was terrible.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know it's only September 17th, but people are planning their trips. So we've got to talk about the changes coming to the Christmas season at Walt Disney World.
Yes. God, it's almost Christmas.
Christmas is breathing down our necks.
Man.
But there will be some noticeable changes to Christmas at Walt Disney World this year, thanks to COVID-19. First and foremost, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party has been canceled. The hard ticket event that has taken place on select nights during the Christmas season at the Magic Kingdom beginning early November will no longer take place. That means that beloved Christmas traditions such as Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Parade and the new Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Time fireworks, which replaced holiday wishes last year, will no longer be featured, or at least this year.
Yeah.
Also, the castle Dream Lights that drape Cinderella Castle with shimmering white lights will not be displayed this year.
Oh.
Normally, by now, that big crane is out hoisting that fishnet over the castle with the lights. I actually this was my hot take. I was
Oh.
happy. I don't like those dream lights.
Really?
I think they ruin the castle. They're like those obnoxious neighbors that just go a little too far with the decorating. It's like, all right,
We
and then
get
they
it.
hang there until February.
Yeah, you're an expert at exterior illumination. I get it.
Yeah. I don't like them. I just don't think they add anything. And sadly, we won't have, at least on Main Street USA, our annual dose of soap suds. I mean, snow on Main Street.
Oh, man. That is sort of the best part.
I know.
That makes Taryn cry every time.
It's so great.
Every time she cries.
Who cries?
Taryn. She cries at
cries?
Yeah. She cries at that. Like that's her Christmas sort of like memory. And in fact, the last time we were there was during, quote, the holidays, which start in September, right? And
you were there for Veterans Day,
right? And on Memorial Day when we were walking past the Redwood Creek Trail or whatever it's called, right, in DCA, and they were doing snow there, and we didn't know it. We just happened to catch it, and I look over and she's like tearing up, I'm like, bro, you're not even in front of the castle. There's no fireworks. Stop it. This is just soap. She goes, I know, but it's just, I'll get over it. And then we got a churro.
Aww.
Yeah. I yelled at her. I threw her in the rapids of the ride next to her. And I'm just kidding.
God, you really are an ogre.
I'm an abusive, unlikable character. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Over at Epcot, a tradition that has been playing at Disney World since its opening in 1971, first in the Magic Kingdom and then at Epcot since 1994, and features celebrity narrations of the traditional Christmas story against a symphony orchestra and mass choir, will not be taking place this year. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. Fill me in.
You don't know what I just described?
No.
The Candlelight Processional.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I believe you. You don't listen to my segments. I did one on that.
Yeah, you did.
Notably, Disney has also announced that the official dates for the holiday season this year end on December 30th. Normally, they go usually till the end of the first week of January. This is significant because New Year's Eve is usually one of, if not the most crowded days of the year at Disney World, and has traditionally been marked by throngs of people in attendance to witness the nighttime fireworks spectaculars that Disney uses to ring in the new year. But now the season will end just one day shy of New Year's Eve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but all is not lost for us Christmas-loving folk. Jason?
Okay.
Remember on our last episode when I told you about a Reddit user wondering about projections on the castle?
Yes, of course.
Yes, see, that's not so far away. You can remember that. Well, it seems those weren't for the impending return of a nighttime spectacular, as I had speculated on Spectro. Like, how many times can I say spec? But instead, they are... What did I write here? Instead, it seems that they will be decorating Cinderella Castle with holiday projections and animations. So I think that's what they were doing.
Ah, got it.
New projections. So no lights, but projections. Disney loves projections. If they can get rid of something and replace it with projections, they will.
I know, man. And that first time I saw it, it was like, this is fuzzy and out of focus. And it's just, I don't know. I haven't seen a good working projection. It just looks like your annoying neighbor got a 1080p friggin' projector from Best Buy on Black Friday and is like, wow, yeah, well, you can't really tell, but it's Santa's sleigh. It just looks like a red pixel. Yeah, but it's fine. It looks terrible. I don't like it.
Do you have an annoying neighbor who does that?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do it.
Maybe be the annoying neighbor.
Honestly, I want you to do projection mapping on your house this Christmas.
I don't think I can get the projector far enough away. It would have to be like across the street.
You can. I bought a projector. We were watching movies on the side of the house all summer.
Yeah, but that's like a certain square. You can't project. You have to projection map across like the whole house.
All right.
There is a company. I forget the name, but if anybody's interested, they sell these little animated movies that you can project into your window from inside your house for Halloween. Yeah. For Halloween. So you put a sheet up and it's like, shadows of zombies, or this, could be a whole scene. That's pretty cool. But that's very short. You get that short throw.
Right.
Those long ones that Disney does just doesn't look. They don't look good to me.
Just project something, okay?
I'm projecting a lot of my insecurities every time I do a show. Does that count?
Well, if you loved Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Parade.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw it.
Okay. Well, if anyone else who's listening liked it.
Yeah.
Is anyone else? The characters will still be out and about. Santa Claus himself, the famous toy soldiers, reindeer, and gingerbread will all be featured in impromptu cavalcades in the Magic Kingdom throughout the Christmas season.
Ooh, love it.
Do you have something to say? I see you gesturing forward.
I just said I love it.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah. Over at Epcot, beginning on November 27th, the Taste of Epcot International Food and Wine Festival booths will give way to the International Festival of the Holidays. The holiday kitchens around World Showcase Lagoon will once again spotlight seasonal recipes from around the globe. Meanwhile, the Voices of Liberty, an a cappella ensemble from the American Adventure, will sing holiday carols outside of the America Gardens Theater. A special dining experience will be offered at Hollywood and Vine over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, where Minnie Mouse, Santa, Goofy, and other characters will appear for socially distant selfies with diners. If you aren't in the mood to be going into the parks, you can drop by Disney Springs, which will be decked out with Disney seasonal decor and Christmas trees. And here, the soap suds will be sudsing in the air, creating the snow-like effect every night. Also, Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar will once again transform into Jock Lindsay's Holiday Bar with festive decor, a seasonal menu you'll be sure to love.
Oh, wow.
And
Waka waka.
And if you're like me and you love touring, what?
I said, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. If you're like me and you love touring the resort hotels during Christmas, take heart. The lobbies of Disney's hotels will again feature their elaborate holiday decor and sounds, only this year without their famous gingerbread house displays. Now, I should note that Disney's website says to check back for more seasonal magic that will be happening, so I'm guessing they're still working on a few extra holiday tricks for us, and hopefully those will be announced soon. But otherwise, they're doing what they can in a responsible way, but our nighttime Christmas spectaculars will not be here, nor will our parades.
Bummer, dude, but it makes sense.
It's a big-time bummer.
Yeah, I wonder if Disney would release some footage, of some of these parades like they did when the parks were closed.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would do something like that. Because people really like the Christmas parades, and they do sort of have a lot of fond memories of that too. So it'd be nice to be able to at least watch it from home. Then I would watch one.
I can tell you one other place you can experience holiday parades and holiday nighttime spectaculars.
Where's that?
SpectroRadio.us.
Oh, I've never heard of it. Tell me more.
Yeah, the Christmas season always begins on Thanksgiving night on Spectro Radio. But man, I don't know. Maybe this year I might bump it up a little bit.
I mean, you might as well. You could. How often do you do that on Spectro? Like how many nights a week?
Well, I just I just throw a bunch of Christmas music into the mix.
Oh, okay. Because you could have you can start with like Christmas hour.
Well, this is exactly
and then you can drip it in there.
Correct. That's what I'm thinking of doing.
I love
dripping it in. Yeah. We're gonna drip.
We're gonna drip.
Starting on Veterans Day. Maybe that's what we just figured it out right here.
That's on Spectro. I mean, EarzUp. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Yeah, you'll be tuning in.
I don't have a log. Not in the sense that you thought that I had a log, but you don't. Yeah. All right, Jeremy. What do you think? We're getting out of here?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's call it a day.
All right. Calling it a day, folks. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Be sure to go to patreon.com/EarzUp and become a Patreon subscriber for as little as $2 a month, and you can help support the show. That would be really great stuff. Until next time, everybody, we will see you in the parks. And once again, I forgot to do our commercials. So I'm going to do them now, and I'll still record, and then I'll just splice them in for the podcast.
You know what we have to figure out?
Tell me.
Is if it's relevant to the story that we're telling, like how do we, so that it's not this section of the show that people are like, let me fast forward through this.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That's
like,
why I like to try to. That's
so
why
it's organic.
That's why I like to be, sort of funny and conversational about some of that stuff. I don't know. That's always the hard part for commercials and live reads and stuff. It's very hard to do. It's very hard to do.
Maybe we need to be more cognizant of it when we're writing our stories.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm gonna try it out for the next one.
Okay, I think you should do that. But okay. I'll just do this one. Before we get to the show, I want to remind you guys of our travel partner, Concierge. You go to concierge.com and they will help you plan your entire vacation to Walt Disney World. I know Jeremy has some news about what's going on over there. And look, things are very confusing right now over at the parks. Nobody knows what's going on. I see a lot of weird news coming out about Disney World, and then I see photos that sort of contradict the weird news, and it's just, it could be really uncomfortable. So if you feel like you want to go, feel like you're missing the parks, but you're not really sure what to expect, the people at Concierge will let you know. They will help you book your hotels. They will help you book any dining reservations that you might possibly need. They'll let you know what the Fast Pass deal is going on over there. They'll figure it all out for you. So check them out, concierge.com. They're great people. They're great supporters of the show, and they want to give you the best vacation possible, and at no cost above the price of your ticket or the price of your reservation or something like that. They're not upcharging you. Everything is just straight across the board. It's a service that they offer in addition to booking your travel. So check them out, concierge.com.
Can I tell you something else about Concierge?
Sure.
This week, a Spectro Radio listener reached out to me on social media and asked if Concierge is still open during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
And I said, yes.
Nice. They definitely are.
They've got it going. They're planning it. They're planning the trip.
I love it.
So it's happening.
I love that. Yeah, no, they definitely stayed open as soon as they could. They were, they were still, they were booking hotels, man. And, it was really great. It touched me greatly that they kept supporting the show even through the shutdown when they weren't getting any income from it. And just for me, that speaks volumes of a company, is how they help other people out. And it was really nice. It was lovely.
I could tell you were touched greatly.
Thanks, man. Okay, let's do this mango one.
Mango?
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, I want to tell you about the 21st Amendment's iconic Hell or High Watermelon wheat beer. Has been a summertime favorite since they started making it in 2000 at their San Francisco South of Market brew pub near Giants Park, where baseball is seen and played. I don't know if you knew that about baseball, but it gets played and also gets seen by people.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks. The brewers at the 21st Amendment decided to have some fun, and with a nod to the fall season, developed their latest beer, Hell or High Mango. Hell or High Mango is made with real fruit and is sweet, slightly tart with tropical floral flavors and aromas. It's a perfect beer to enjoy during this fall time of year as the colors and the season change. Behind all that great mango flavor and aroma is a wonderful wheat beer. With its biscuity, light bready notes and at a mere 4.9% alcohol, it's even more enjoyable. Hell or High Mango is available across the country where 21st Amendment beer is sold. So go out and enjoy a Hell or High Mango today. If you've never had Hell or High Watermelon, it's a fantastic burst of watermelon. It's like real watermelon, right? And then I can't wait to try some of this mango stuff, man. I love mango. I love it so much. I'm ready for it. I love wheat beer too. I've never really been a wheat beer guy, but I don't know, wheat beer with fruit in it, I can sort of get behind.
Can I tell you something about mango though that really hits home?
Tell me.
When I was a sophomore in college marching band, the freshmen came and they called me Mango.
Why?
And that was my nickname for 6 months.
Why?
Because at the time, the Saturday Night Live sketch with Chris Kattan, where he plays this weird animal called Mango, like a monkey or something.
Okay.
And they were like, you remind us of him. And I was like, great.
Oh, good.
And so then I was Mango.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Mango.
Whenever I hear the word mango, I either think of the 21st century, the 21st Amendment,
Yeah.
or I think of my sophomore year nerdiness.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Good gravy. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thanks for supporting us. Thanks for listening. I see you, Jimmy. Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to remind everybody of my other shows, too. You're right, Jimmy. I didn't do that. Everyone, listen to the Supreme Resort and Scraping the Vault.